Shuvas that he explains different quotes from Gemara that seem up as very strange. Okay, so the Mela the Rebbe says the first thing is Chayla Shemesh Rapel. A sick person that was cured, which he need. What does he need? A Yid needs a healthy heart and a healthy brain. And sometimes it could be that it's not so, that a person could be ill, could be could be sick. The exertion that the Rebbe mentioned in the previous paragraph, Odom Lamo Yulav. So this is that he has to exert himself to do everything that's dependent on him. V'Hakadosh Baruch Hu and the Eibishter helps him. That chayla, that he becomes a chayla shenetzrapa till he returns back to his original strength. The inyan abeis, the second inyan is prison. That's the second inyan for bench and gamel. Chayla, here the Rebbe goes later to say that would be the inyan of Yudas Yisurim. Chayla usually is chayla yam Yisurim midbar. That's the way it's the sequence of the abbreviation is. The second one is inyan abeis or ayechim abeis asurim. He goes out from prison. The Vavedas Adam who the Nexiv Rasha Machteres HaTzadik, that the Rasha, the evil, encloses and surrounds the Tzadik. The Yetzirah Machter Mesavev as HaYetzirah. The Yetzirah encloses and surrounds the Yetzirah. The evil inclination surrounds the Yetzirah. V'at HaYetzirah Yeshev Beveis Asurim. He finds himself in a Beis Asurim, in a prison. And as the Rebbe mentions it in Ayem Yem, that it's the Yetzer Hara does not let the Yetzer Tov exercise its intellect, its emotions, so it is considered a golus Mitzrayim. Because there's Mitzorim, there's limitations.
You say he's explaining these beruchnis?
Yeah.
The first, as per a healthy heart and a healthy mind, doesn't sound like ruchnis. Sounds like Gashmis.
Okay, actually talking in the first one, it seems like he's talking more the Gashmizik Achelik of it. But when the Rebbe mentions these two in Yonim, Leiv and Meach, is because these are the main functions in Avedas Hashem, the Midas and the Seichel. So the Rebbe doesn't specify, the Rebbe says health, and the Rebbe says first heart and then Meach, which seems like that Gosh is on the Midas, because the main Aved of a person is the Midas. And then the Rebbe continues, Omnom, Kasher Yedeya B'Yeshu Yoshrei B'Veis HaSurim. Knowing, B'Shas he knows, and he's aware of it, that sitting in the Beis HaSurim, Shal Hashem Oretz and Leah, that the whole is everything within it belongs to the Eibishter, all its inhabitants. U'Melech Oretz Kveidei, and the whole earth is all full with the Chavod of Hashem. V'Lacheinu Tomed B'Tikva Gdeila. He stands always with a great hope. The Yeser, the Eises, Kol HaTolibe, he does everything that is dependent on him. Kedei sheyiyah niker, it should be obvious. Shagam bebeis ha'asurim nimtza sham kvedesh HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That also in the Beis HaAsurim, the covet of the Eibishter is found. In other words, he makes sure that he does his Aveda there also. V'ad shani molichul, that the Eibishter fills it up. In other words, that this is permeated with the rotzen of the Eibishter. In the Ozu Peil, that then he accomplishes that he will go out, he'll be freed, released from Beis HaSurim. So Bishasi knows that what his mission is in the Beis HaSurim, so this accomplishes that he will then go out, be released from Beis HaSurim. The Moshel from Beis HaSurim reminds me of Sicha from the Rebbe, Tu Bishvat, Tovshin Lametes, 1979. The Rebbe is speaking then about the Inyan of Mashke. So the Rebbe says that the moshel that's given is a moshel from the Baal Shem Tov, which rarely the Rebbe mentioned it, and the moshel is that the inyan of drinking mashke is an example of a moshel of a king and his son, and his king, the son of the king, the Ben HaMelech, is found in Beis HaSurim in prison, and at one point he receives a letter from his father, Michtav, as the Rebbe Seligson, Oviv HaMelech, from his father. He receives a letter, greetings, and the Pasha is very excited. But it's not shy that he should just start dancing Beis HaSurim. So he takes a bottle of mashke and he puts it down on the table. And the male of Bishas, he puts it down on the table, he starts dancing. So they think that he's dancing because of the mashke. But in reality, he's dancing because of the news that he got from his father, the letter from his father. So the Rebbe says the same thing is also in Avedas Hashem. When it says Ivdas Hashem b'simcha, a person should serve Hashem with joy. So a person could be, there is shkotzim. There are shkotzim in the Beis Asurim. There is a nefesh abamis, there's the Yetzer Hara, which is going to possibly interfere with his whole Aveda. The Mela, he drinks mashke. The Yetzer Hara thinks he's drinking mashke, so this is what brings the joy. But actually, the joy is that he's serving the Eibishter with Yivdas Hashem b'simcha. So this is actually the moshel the Rebbe gives, and then together with that, the Rebbe gives also the limitation. Akan hamokim, the Rebbe says, the place to mention again and again, not like the ones that want to make a mistake and help themselves in a very easy way to the inyanim, but the person should have a limitation. This is in Tovshin Lamates, 1979. So these are the two inyanim. One is a chelish and israpes, to make sure that his heart and mind, which is basically the emotions and the intellect, is in the right state. And then comes the inyan of Beis Asurim, someone that finds himself in a prison. And then comes a third level. Inyan HaGomel gam kasher odem mesaknes beis inyanim anal. The third inyan is that even when he already has corrected the previous two features, one of them is the inyan of the illness in a spiritual sense, and one is that he has released himself from prison. Anal yes, actually matzav shel hilchem bayam. He still finds himself in a situation of traveling by sea. What does it mean, the sea? The water, this means the Hainu Shareshi Torah Binyoni Aparnose, that his mind is completely occupied with Binyonim Aparnose, livelihood. Hanim Sholim, the Meyayam, that are compared to the ocean water. The sea, Hahelach Vegeyesh, that constantly moves and makes the commotion. The Inyoni Parnososim, Evalvelim, the Menuchas Haguf, and Menuchas Hanefesh. The inyanim of parnasa, which parnasa is compared to the inyan of seawater, is something that interferes with the peace of mind and also his physical peace, partial physical rest. That the ones that travel by sea, they're not settled, their mind is not stable, they don't feel at ease till they return back to land, to dry land. Which is interesting because to connect this with the inyan of the moshel of Parnasa is really, you find it in Maimorim, that this chazal is used for the moshel of Parnasa, for the inyan of Parnasa. Because this inyan, as mentioned in Daita Nocha, is that it's known that they don't, I mean, the Gemara says it in Talmud and other places, that the people seasick and other inyan. Meinayach, right. So that's the Meinayach is the first part, right. That's what's mentioned Tereir and Parsha Neach. You have it in different places that the Mayim Rabim they can't extinguish the love that a Yitzhak Eibishter, which is the Parnasa Inyanim. But the inyan of Indaita Nocha Shalli Abosha is interesting, an interesting comparison here. I mean, it's like an interesting citing together. The Rebbe cites it together with this. Bo'inyan Hadalad Hilchem Midborius. Ones that go in the desert. What is the inyan of a desert? A desert represents something which is exactly the opposite of somewhere, which a civilized land. Instead of being in a settled, civilized land, when a person is in the house, so this is the beauty of the person, this is the shleimus of the person, the ultimate of the person, how he is settled in his own dwelling place. So instead of that, he finds himself in a desert. In the same sense that it is not appropriate for a person to live in a desert, in the same sense it is also not appropriate for the Adam Ha'elyon, for godliness, and it represents the opposite of the inyan of godliness. Because the inyan of godliness is to give, and the inyan of the inyan of a desert. So the Rebbe says, can't plant over there, which means there's no output. Kedusha is a symbol of output. When we speak about something that the opposite of Kedusha, it says, the Gemara says, it takes in, but it doesn't.